Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday life of an aspect. If you're following me right now, basically, this is going to be an author's tag, basically, right now, as you're fully aware, because obviously, as you know, as I've been currently sharing with you all time in and time out, that I have been trying to write my book of my journey so far, of my condition, of Asperger's syndrome, OCD, and the like, and hopefully that this self-help book is going to be based on the tips and advice of different parts of the sections of what we go through of our everyday lives, based on, you know, everyday things that many people will hopefully will understand more of, you know, once they take heed of what they need to know about. So in all further ado though, guys, hopefully, you know, before I begin, you are enjoying the video series of whatever I've addressed to you all, as I've been trying to think what else I need to share with you all that has been close to my heart, but some of them I feel a bit, you know, let's be real, a bit nervous, anxious, and maybe, you know, just feel that maybe something may come out of it in a maybe a negative way, basically, even though I'm trying to speak out the truth and speak out and try not to be shunted by all these, you know, concepts of what people may say, think, or do, or even just, you know, especially certain ones that were in my circle that I've been trying to get rid of, you know, and even though some of the ones that has been in my circle may, you know, come and attack me once and for all again based on their words, even though I know words may not, you know, to them feel that it will hurt me, or, you know, will hurt me just because of these, as I call them, haters, wants that form of reaction. But in all further ado, guys, basically, here are the, like, 11 questions I'm going to address to you all right now, basically, on the author's tag, basically, if you want to follow along, basically, and also for the ones that I want to challenge before I end this video, basically, for the ones that has been deciding to write their book, maybe they could do this for fun as well, sort of thing. So hopefully maybe that we can get to know more of each other along the way, regardless what it may be, you know. Okay, question number 1. Where's your favourite place to write? Okay, my favourite place to write basically can be a range of different areas, regardless where it might be. You know, sometimes I'll be probably sitting in the rose gardens, you know, meditating, doing my book writing in there, or sometimes in the privacy of my own home, where I mean, based on my videos right now, basically, you know, my little safe haven in my bedroom with maybe a little bit of music playing versus, you know, some, you know, even if I just do open up these doors or window, shall we say, open up the window, even though you may hear background noise of, you know, sort of birds flying around, or, you know, heavy traffic, even though I don't like traffic much of the noise because it just wears me out. Another one basically is sometimes if I'm lucky enough, you know, in the past I was, you know, used to go to the, like, river, pretty much where my parents used to live, of that reserve river, as well as basically the beaches out there, out where my parents basically usually live and are still residing to this day. Number 2, am I a coffee or tea drinker? Well, again, that would depend on my mood. Sometimes I'll drink coffee, but depending on, you know, what sort of coffee it is, obviously, because obviously at the moment, you know, I'm in love with my caramel latte versus my mochaccino. Sometimes, now and again, though, when it comes close to winter, as we are here in New Zealand at the moment, you know, even though sometimes it's almost like summer as well, summer and winter, maybe, you know, the kind of, you know, fruit tea drinker. So depending on my moods, basically, like anything, you know, to see what it is. But I've learned that, you know, I shouldn't be drinking too much coffee because, as I said before, with people that has anxiety, it can actually affect them more worse than it is because of the, you know, caffeine content. Okay, number 3, what's my favourite book of all time? Oh gosh, this one's got to be a hard one because I haven't been reading for a while, even though I used to read a lot. So, you know, I've been reading some of the Jodi Picoult books at the moment, as well as, like, some of the Stephen King series versus, what was the other series? Some other author. So basically, one of them is the Jodi Picoult, basically, of the, what's that called? The one with the, basically, the guy that's autistic, and obviously he's, you know, what you call it? He's basically done his, you know, with his behavior traits and characteristics as an autistic, he likes to solve crimes and stuff, and then he gets too caught up, and then, you know, police officers, you know, question his behavior of some sort of murder or something, and they tend to put that claim on him that he may be, you know, involved somehow. And then another one is one of the Stephen King's series that I've been reading, of late, basically, and I can't remember the name off the top of the head, but I'll get back to you hopefully maybe later in the piece for that. Okay, number 4. What genre would you write with no restrictions of a book? Well, I'm a creative writer, you know. I have a real good imagination, and sometimes it's so openly imaginative, especially when it comes to the sexual counterparts. I can go really in depth in that for some reason. I don't know why that is the case, but yeah, maybe a little bit of a romance erotica versus, you know, a bit of murder erotica involved in there, one way or another. Or basically another one is just whatever I feel that, you know, what I go through in life, and just jazz it up a bit and just make sure that my name or anyone else's name that was involved basically will basically come into the later of it. Okay, number 5 is, what is NaNoWriMo? Okay, I never knew who even heard of this, to be honest with you, after doing my research, you know, and all that on this NaNoWriMo. So if you want to know, I'm going to answer this right now. It's obviously a National Novel Writing Month that's usually in November from the 1st to the 30th, which is in a month, you know, just the month of November, basically. And it usually happens every year, even though it's just started recently, basically. And it's all about, you know, authors or just people alike that likes to do creative writing. And like with this creative writing, they have to write in that time. I know it sounds bizarre of the amount of words they have to write. It's about 50,000 words in that month. It's like an everyday challenge, I feel, for some of us, basically, when it comes down to it, you know, when it comes there and about. But then again, you know, everybody has their own, you know, forte of how they go attack their everyday creative style of thinking versus their art history, you know, versus whatever else that they are creative in. Okay, another question is, like, basically, NaNoWriMo, yes or no? This is question 6. To me, well, I'm either. I can't sway upon yes or no on this. I'm in the between. Because obviously, you know, for me, sometimes when I have been trying to practice my creative writing skills, even though I used to be really good at it, you know, I would love to try and stretch that mindset of mine. So basically, you know, it can be a bit far-fetched when it comes down to that, you know, NaNoWriMo. But then again, I'm sure that if whoever, you know, had that idea of people, you know, doing these creative writing styles for up to 50,000 words in a month, it might be far-fetched for some of us, but then again, I guess everyone's different in their forte of how many words they can write within it, you know. Again, like I said, basically, that will depend on probably maybe what mood we're in, where we're seated, and everything else that correlates with us writing our, you know, way into our books or what have you. Number 7. If you had a superpower, what would that be? Superpowers? I've got too many to list here. If it was just the one. Well, it's not about reading people's minds, because obviously that will scare the crap out of me. Because, you know, even though, you know, many people will just actually deceive you anyway, basically, in the way of, you know, how they're thinking and what they're thinking at that given moment of time. But then again, I guess that can be a good one. But then, well, that was semi-chills to the spine. Superpower, come on. I know it. Maybe just, like, maybe hopefully that everyone just gets on with everyone's differences, regardless of, you know, our differences, because I've noticed that at the moment, as I said in my book, that there is a lot of stereotyping and stigma around certain mental health disorders at the moment, and that basically at this point of time, you know, as I said, it's not the, you know, readers or people's fault at large. Basically, it's just how people may come across with these different mental illnesses and disorders, basically, and that, you know, no matter what, that, you know, this does happen, and that we tend to think. So there's quite a few. So mind reading might be one, even if it does send me a bit of chills down to my spine. I don't know if it's a good chill or a bad chill, to be honest. But then again, honesty is the best policy. So I think maybe, you know, basically the mind reading will do its worth for me of the superpower. Okay, number 8. What's your favorite author? I've got too many to list there. One would be basically J.K. Rowling, Jodi Picoult, and at the moment I've been reading more and more into basically like the storyline of basically one of the ones of Stephen King, as I said. So basically, there's about 3. Like I'm not sure if that's entitled to be included in there. Could it be what is your favorite author or authors maybe? But I'll leave that as that. Anyway, I'll mix that up. Anyway, number 9, what kind of music do you listen to when you do write? Okay, well, that depends again. Okay, nature sounds, that's me. If no matter where I am, no matter what mood I am, and I'll probably likely to go into, like I said, to the rose garden and listen to sit in that little forestry area or the rose gardens as such, and just basically maybe focus on listening to those birds that's in the forestry. Or another one is basically, well, I know it's not called music, but I call it music, which would be under scenery music. But then again, if you want actually the actual music that you're talking about, sometimes it will depend on my mood. Sometimes I probably, vary from time to time. Sometimes the classic Whitney Houston versus Michael Jackson versus, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion. And then other times it might be, if I want something more calm and peaceful, just orchestrated music. Even though it might put me to sleep, to be honest. But then again, that relaxes me. Like anything, they reckon that obviously, before I continue the questions, that orchestrated music is supposed to be good for us because obviously it stimulates the brain and also, enhances our brain performance by basically, hopefully making us more at peace and ourselves being calm and peaceful, as well as versus just basically helps us in our mental state of mind basically, and it will actually improve our memory versus, everything else that makes our mind set go quicker. Anyway, number 10. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? That's a good question. Where would I be if I, if I had, if I could live anywhere? I don't know. I'm not fast. Maybe I'm a bit of a modern classic kind of old-fashioned kind of girl. So basically, maybe a villa, maybe of somewhere, maybe. Just somewhere that I can actually, be at peace within myself, as well as maybe engaging with some people, but not many at the same time, because I know that pretty much I'm trying to deal with, a lot of people at once at the moment. Okay, last but not least of the question, what do you do when you have writer's block? Right, obviously with this question, it will vary from person to person, or some of the ones that may have done the writer's tag at the moment that I've been following, Jenna Moreci versus Emma someone. I'm just trying to remember the names on the top of the head right now. Bear with me. I'm just humble apologize. The links of their channel will be below in my description anyway. But what I'll do, basically, this will depend again on my mood, basically for me. Okay, I may, if I want to do, go for a walk or just dance around in the bedroom or dance around somewhere in the house, with music on, obviously. Depending on what sort of music it is, to get me up and moving, because obviously it's important that we take a break from whatever we're doing at that moment of time. I might just read up some other books to catch up on for that, maybe half hour, 45 minutes, or even if it's too good for me, I might end up delving in from that and actually read 2 chapters maybe through that book. Again, exercising with certain music in the background. Another one for me, if I get, sidetracked, is basically, maybe, I don't know, bullet points, brainstorm some ideas that's on that food for thought of my book, basically some bullet points of that, and even if those ideas may not come to play, it's alright, I just bullet point, just, maybe imagine myself and maybe my character if I do end up doing a fiction book, a character show, and actually go with it, If I'm lucky enough, another one for when I get a writer's block, if I do, basically, I'll just remove myself from completely out of my writing base, and actually maybe another one is catch up with a old friend of mine that I haven't caught up with for lunch or coffee, something like this, as well as versus basically like maybe another one is just maybe ringing up a few friends here and then, just for a quick catch up chat, or even just maybe, post something on some of the people's statuses on Facebook versus, private messaging some of the old friends that are there and about. And last but not least, for me, basically, as I live by certain quotes, and basically I'll just maybe, look out for some more quotes or something, or just even rearrange my room or something. Just anything just to distract me from that writer's block there and then, and hopefully maybe once I get back to it, it will run fresh in my mind, basically. So these are the 11 questions, basically, I feel to answer. Feel free to give me a like for thumbs up, basically. Feel free to comment below, basically, or like I said before, for the ones that are watching that are deciding to write a book or what have you, maybe I challenge you to do this author's tag, just for something for fun, so that maybe we can interact and connect with one another regardless, because I'm sure there are bound to be some writers or what have you, around us. Subscribe to my channel for daily, weekly vlogs, basically. Also, feel free to share the videos to family and friends. So, thanks for your support. Thanks for watching, guys. Basically, love what you do what you love one another. Take care of yourself. Until next time, I'll see you all again soon.